So, guys, I think we're live. I don't know if we're live or not. If we're live, hi. If not, not. So, another quick video I'm going to do now. Um, Twin Peaks related. Again, I have these crazy ideas that just keep like running through my mind, and they just, I don't know, they don't let me be. And so I don't let it be. So I keep like kind of going into it more and more and more. And we're talking about the finale again. There've been several questions that have been bugging me, and I know that in the past videos that I've done, I've touched base on, Cooper with the pin, without the pin. What does it mean? The past, the future, the dreaming, not the dreaming. But Gary says hi, hi, Gary. So first and foremost, to let you guys know, I've been doing this because Twin Peaks, the finale aired last week, and so we don't have any new Twin Peaks coming up, or so we think, for the next couple of months. Eileen says, good motioning, Dacob and friends. Hi, everybody. So, guys, listen, it's going to be a quick video, but I missed all of you, and I wanted to touch base with you. And for those people who have been saying that the videos are a little bit like filmed with a potato or whatever, it's because I'm live streaming and my internet is super slow, and I want to live stream the Twin Peaks videos in particular because I really enjoy talking to you live and chatting. So please forgive what you're used to seeing within the Super Dacob Fashion Bunker videos that are all pre-recorded. That's where the quality is technical wise, but for the live streams it is what it is. So please bear with me. Listen, we're gonna talk the finale of Twin Peaks. I've been asking myself, okay, so Cooper is taking Laura in part 17, spoiler alert, through the woods. As he touches her hand, we see the past is altered. She's not dead anymore on the shore of the river. And then the scene in the woods with him and her turns to color from black and white. So he walks with her through the woods in part 17. And then we hear that screechy noise from the gramophone, and then she disappears. We hear the scream, she's gone. And then in part 18, the scene repeats. Why? We ask ourselves. First, I thought, oh, it's sort of initiation for season 4. Melinda says, hey, oh, the luxury hybrid. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Oh, luxury hybrid is so sweet. Says, don't worry about the quality. You make up for it in content. Thank you. So listen, guys, I'm like super puffy and tired still because I keep waking up from all of these like weird thoughts and dreams. But anyway, I thought to myself, part 18 begins. It doesn't begin with the forest scene. I know we're in the Black Lodge and Mr. C is burning in flames. But why the repetition of Cooper guiding Laura through the woods one second time? And then it dawned on me. It's not just an initiation to a possible season 4, and we're having a sort of a weird recap. No, because the scene is shot slightly different. There's different angles there as well, camera angles. And let's rewind to part 17. Notice within Cooper guiding Laura, we have Laura and Cooper talking. We don't have them really talking in part 18 in the forest scene. In part 17, what does she say? I wrote it down. She says, where are we going? Cooper says we're going home. And we all have this emotional moment and we're all thinking, oh, she's finally going to go home. And I thought to myself, first second I saw the first time, part 17, he's taking her back to the Palmer house. But think about it. Why would he take her back to the Palmer house? Cooper knows that at that point that Leland Palmer killed her. Il Filmaniaco, hey Super Dacob, hi, how you doing? He knows that Leland killed her. Why would he in the past take her back to her home where Leland, inhabited by Bob, might be waiting for her? Well, Leland is probably in the woods. He was supposed to kill her that night in the woods. But you know what I mean? You don't take her back to the serpent's nest. You want to save her. You want to preserve her. You want to save the woman. So when he says we're going home, I thought, and then plus, Cooper might at this point, throughout the lodges after 25 years, also think or suspect that Judy might be in Sarah. But we don't know that yet. We're all suspecting that Judy is inhabiting Sarah, but we're not sure about that. I still have my suspicions. I don't know. I have my reservations about that. But let's go back to a couple of things here. He says we're going home. Shortly after that, we see a scene, just look, as the camera's panning through the woods, before Laura disappears, they're holding hand, before Laura disappears from Cooper's hand. In part 17, we do see in the darkness, close to Jack Rabbit's palace, we see the portal of the White Lodge. Now, we never hear it spoken out throughout the entire season 3. No character ever says White Lodge. There's no mention of the lodges. We see the visuals of the Black Lodge, but in season 1 and 2, we were never given the White Lodge. We presume to have seen the White Lodge in season 3, but we're not sure about that either. But after my analysis here for part 17 and 18, I'm sure that what we see behind Jack Rabbit's palace is indeed the White Lodge, or the entrance to the White Lodge. Now, follow me here. Why is that? Because Cooper is walking with Laura. There's the night scene, and then we have in part 17 only, not in part 18. In part 17, you're going to see the camera kind of moving and almost standing still. You're going to see that one sycamore tree. You're going to see that kind of swimming pool little thingy, which is kind of the portal, the opening with the gold liquid inside of it. You're going to see the entrance of the White Lodge as we have seen it when we were there with Mr. C or with Andy, Hawk, Bobby, and so on and so forth. So it dawned on me when Cooper says we're going home to Laura, he's taking her back home. The real home is the White Lodge, where the giant created her, gave birth to her, concocted her, whatever. He is returning her back home. And I think that was part 1. Well, there's many parts to this plan, but the giant's plan all along, the fireman's plan all along, was to bring Laura back home, get her into a safe place. I'm inverting words. I'm just like in Twin Peaks right now, guys. Reality is like flipping. And remember this motion as well. Jeffries with the infinity sign and the little ball, and then he flips the infinity sign and the little ball shifts again. We'll get to that too. But so we have Jack Rabbit's palace. Close to it, we have the White Lodge entrance. Cooper never makes it to the White Lodge because Judy, well, Sarah Palmer or Judy, stabs the image, screams. All of this is happening in part 17. Time reverses, things change and shift. Cooper doesn't make it to the White Lodge with Laura. And I do, again, believe that the White Lodge is the place he called home for her. He's taking her back home there. In part 18, it's as if one part of this whole plan did not work out properly, but still we have to enact the second part of the plan, which was to find Judy. Once Laura is safe, we gotta go after Judy. And this is where that's why the giant already in the past, or the fireman already in the past, told Cooper, 430, Richard, Linda. These are all parts of the plan set in motion to get rid of Judy later on, or to defeat her, or maybe to just kind of balance her out in some way to render her more neutralized so that she wouldn't create all the havoc that is going on right now with the energies being unbalanced in Twin Peaks and surroundings between good and evil. But quickly back to the lodges. Why I believe that we have the White Lodge behind Jack Rabbit's palace. Because if you notice, the entrance to the Black Lodge has this circle, Glastonbury Grove, Knights of the Round Table and all that stuff. But we have a kind of a bigger number of sycamore trees in front of the entrance of the Black Lodge. And this is a sort of premonition to negativity, to a fragmentation of the soul. It's like a warning. You enter the Black Lodge, your soul might be fragmented in all these pieces and even more pieces. And you might be fighting your shadow self to infinity, until the end of time, maybe even. But the White Lodge, the entrance to the White Lodge, only has one sycamore tree. It's like the log lady called Laura. Laura is the one. The entrance to the White Lodge is about clarity. It's about unity. It's about, it's the one entrance to the one lodge. You are at one with yourself, at peace with yourself. That is the entrance to the White Lodge. That's why it makes total sense to me to have only one sycamore tree to represent the entrance or the guarding point or whatever to the White Lodge. And all of that huge amount of sycamore trees at the entrance of the Black Lodge to warn us, of the fragmentation of the soul that might happen once we enter the Black Lodge. So purity, clarity, and unity. That's the one. That's what the log lady was mentioning all this time. But what happens? The problem is this. In part 17, Laura was not brought to the White Lodge. We have this repetition in part 18. And this is something that's mind-boggling to me. Why is Cooper back in that spot again? Except this time with Laura. This time we do not see the White Lodge anymore. We don't see the shot of the White Lodge entrance in the darkness with the one sycamore tree. That's absent from part 18. Cooper fails again to save her. Maybe he tried one second time. Maybe that's kind of, there was enough time to try one second time before he has to enact the second part, which is to get Judy to travel 430 miles away from Twin Peaks to the spot that he had to travel to with Diane in order to enact the second part of the plan. Diane, either Cooper contacted and communicated with Diane before he even entered the Black Lodge back in season 2, or he found a way through his dreamlike state within the Black Lodge to contact and communicate with some people who are also probably susceptible, either very attached to him emotionally, physically even, or symbolically. He might have found a way to communicate both to Diane and Gordon Cole about specificities of his ideas and plans, how to get, one, how and when to get out of the Black Lodge, and two, the plan that the firemen had for Cooper to defeat Judy. And I'm repeating this Judy thing as a second part of the plan, and this is the tragic conclusion I've come to. And boy, I think it's quite painful, and I hope I'm wrong, but as I've seen in the past comments of the past videos I've made on Twin Peaks in the past few days, some of you are ferocious with your comments. Some of you are vicious. Some of you are amazing. Some of you are loving. Some of you are not. But everybody has a very visceral reaction to Twin Peaks. And that's amazing at the end of the day to me. We have like the Black Lodge happening right underneath the video in the comments section. There's like fires burning and blasting, and it's a roller coaster ride. And I'm so excited. And I thank you so much, everybody, for all the comments you've been leaving. It's incredible. And I see the fire in the community. We are all in love with this new Twin Peaks, and we want to know. But at the same time, we also want to kind of still have the mystery alive. But let's get to Jeffries, the particularity of Jeffries. Look at this, guys. I know this is a stupid little silly drawing I made, but anyway. Okay, so we have the infinity sign that Jeffries shows to Cooper, right? Above the convenience store. I don't know if you see this mirrored or not, but the drawing is with the ball on the right spot. So if this is mirrored, I'm not so sure because the control monitor is weird now. Then he flips the infinity sign. He's like flipping it. This is symbolizes the flippage. This is Luna, by the way. So we have a little bit of Sailor Moon and Twin Peaks together. So the infinity sign is now flipped, and then he shifts the little black ball from here to there. And so indeed, it's back where it was in the beginning, except the infinity sign is flipped. Everything is mirrored. If everything is mirrored, and this is a premonition of what is to come, guys, I'm worried that the worst has happened. Good has become evil. Evil has become good. Cooper has the memory of the past as well. So let's forget about Cooper for a moment here. Cooper has within him, in part 18, he has Mr. C, he has Dougie, he has the good Cooper. There's a lot of Coopers inside of him because he won that spiritual battle against his shadow self in the Black Lodge. So obviously the evil Cooper never exited the Black Lodge to begin with. At the end of season 2, that whole scene happening in the Great Northern with Cooper smashing the mirror and Bob is in the mirror, that already never happened if we were to think that Cooper never exited the Black Lodge really once he entered it, up to part 17. Or part 18, actually, where he officially exited it at the curtain call as Diane was waiting for him. So one of the last steps before he exits the Black Lodge, in part 17, he doesn't manage to save Laura to bring her back to the White Lodge. Because Judy or Sarah screams, breaks the image. And then, in part 18, we're in the Black Lodge, and Laura whispers to Cooper something in his ear, yet again, before she disappears again. She might have told him, we don't know what, only Lynch probably knows what, and we'll never figure it out. But there must have been, from Laura's part, also some sort of message of him to say, put in motion part 2 of the plan, go for 130 miles away from Twin Peaks. The fireman said it as well. But Cooper is petrified. He's scared when he listens to her whisper. What did she tell him? And the scary part of this infinity loop flipping is the flip side of the metal of the coin. I'm afraid, guys, that Judy, in this other reality where Cooper is Richard and Diane is Linda, Cooper still knows he's Cooper, Judy might be in Laura. And that's what terrifies me. And I'm probably wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But It's, Laura Carrie Paige is acting a little bit like Sarah Palmer was acting. She has a memory. I know Melinda is like, what? I know it's creepy. But listen, something is off with Carrie. She has a dead guy in her living room. It could be a depiction of Mr. C, we don't know. But she killed a guy and doesn't even have really a memory of it. Sarah Palmer kills a guy in the bar because he attacks her. Cooper says, and this is something super strange because Cooper is talking to Carrie Paige at the door. If Cooper changed the past in the past, listen to what he tells her at the door at Odessa. He says, your father was Leland Palmer. Your mother is Sarah Palmer. If Cooper really saved Laura in the past, maybe Leland died for other circumstances, but why would Leland be dead? I mean, if he never killed Laura, I mean, maybe he died for other reasons, but Cooper still knows that Sarah Palmer is alive, is your mother, but Leland was your father. And when he mentions Sarah Palmer to Laura at the door at Odessa, Laura goes, head down, starts thinking. Similar to those reactions Sarah Palmer had when she was kind of showing us, when Lynch was depicting to us her duality throughout Twin Peaks, when Hawk is at her door at home, when she keeps kind of changing her facial expression. Sometimes you have the feeling, oh, that's Sarah talking to us, and sometimes she just goes cold, and then she like starts talking through her teeth, When Cooper takes Laura back to Twin Peaks, and at this point we don't even know if it is Twin Peaks or not, and we arrive to the Tremont's house, or the Tremont's house, however you want to pronounce it, Laura hears Sarah call for her. But it's the call Sarah used. It's the recording that happened the morning of Laura's death. So Laura, technically in the past, was already dead when Sarah was calling for Laura. So how can Laura have a memory, if she were dead in the past, of Sarah calling her that way? Because that scene to Laura never really happened. Of course, we think Cooper might have saved her, but he didn't, because in part 17, she was ripped away from his hands. He did not bring her to the White Lodge. In part 18, he tried again. She was ripped away from his hands again. It never happened. He didn't save her yet again. Laura probably died, for all we know, or he's trying to save her in loop forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But if we are in the flip side, this flip side of infinity, that Jeffries kind of showed us and opened the portal to Cooper to go to the past and change things, everything is possible. Laura probably realizes at the end of part 18 that there's something terribly wrong inside of her, and it has to be changed and fixed or repaired, or we don't know. But Cooper is confused as hell too, because he doesn't even know what date it is at the end. And he's bending forward. I almost thought the first time I was watching part 18 he's going to barf or something, but he didn't. But anyway, let's get to the comments quickly. Let me know if you have any other ideas. Il Filmaniaco says, I noticed Carrie was talking through her teeth too. Yeah, she was right. We had that similarity between her and Sarah. Thoughts of the day of the dying absurdist. How you doing, by the way? What if Laura has a doppelganger going out and about? Laura Palmer is dead. How come she ages in the Black Lodge? Well, they all age in the Black Lodge because time did pass. The Cooper aged as well. I mean, oh, I know what you mean. Like that, yeah. That she has been kind of changed and flipped, that there's a doppelganger out and about and there's another real Laura hiding somewhere. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. But then again, it's a bit tricky because we see Leland Palmer in the Black Lodge and he's really dead. And of course, he's aged too. I mean, Lynch used CGI or another actress or whatever to depict a Laura from the past in black and white when Cooper saves her when she's with James, to make her look younger. So he could have done similar tricks of the trade with other characters within the Black Lodge as well, but he didn't. In fact, Laura Palmer in the Black Lodge has aged. So it's very mind-boggling, to say the least. Nick says, is the experiment in part 18 and 1 Judy? I do not know. Could be. Could be. Most people say the experiment, the mother, and Judy are one and the same. So it's all a possibility. However, what I'm curious to understand is if Judy was in Sarah, how does she exit Sarah to appear in the glass box, or to do certain things outside of the body of Sarah and then kind of inhabit her again? So maybe it's another like kind of splitting of this demon into different particles. Everything is possible, really. Melinda says Laura warns James. Yes, she does. She say Laura, is gone. It's just me now. Antonio Sirbu says, hi, I'm sorry, but I have a question. When did exactly the doppelganger come back in the Black Lodge? Okay, guys, the doppelganger of Cooper never left the Black Lodge. My theory is this. The second Cooper, at the end of season 2, enters the Black Lodge physically. He is confronted with his shadow self. And he has been battling his shadow side and all his split particles of his soul and of himself all this time. And within his mind, within his visions, within his soul, spiritually speaking, Lynch decided, thank goodness, to depict this battle in a form of a TV series for us to see in video. But he could have, just as well decided to depict it in a sculpture form or in a drawing. Thank God he decided for a TV show. Melinda says that she is not herself. Laura warns James that she's not herself. Yeah, exactly. Il Filmaniaco says, by the way, in episode 2, we actually can hear Laura's phrase, but it's told backwards. So we should take it and put it in the right verse and blow the volume up. You think? I don't know. I tried listening to that. I can't really decipher anything. Seriously. If anybody can, let me know. As Melinda says, Sarah stated that she is in the Black Lodge with Laura. Remember? Yes, I do remember. Antonio says, does Laura have a doppelganger? Possible, but let's not forget, guys, that Jeffries very clearly flips over the infinity sign and kind of that black dot, which could be a seed, which could be just a depiction of a particular moment in time. It could be so many different things. Brings it back to the same spot it was before the infinity sign was flipped 180 degrees. This to me is a warning. It's almost telling us things might be the opposite of what they seem to be. And we're still battling to save Laura, I do believe, but I do believe that there is a potential possibility that Judy is now in Laura and kind of found a very nasty way to battle the firemen, because that would be very, very tricky. It's a little bit similar maybe to the Harry Potter storyline, because kind of a part of Voldemort was in him. We had that scar on the face, and he had to kind of kill a part of himself in order to defeat Voldemort. And this is a similar aspect to what Cooper had to do. He had to kill a part of himself in order to be free again. Perhaps with Laura, we're going to have a similar thing going down, except maybe the big difference is that the way we see episode or part 8 of Twin Peaks: The Return, Lynch depicts Laura as a creation, or so we are led to assume. Kind of what births Laura is the fireman. So she is an entity on its own, in its own right.